not even need Bauer's game for me.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out Chickapig, a farm-to-table game for 2 or 4 players. Age is 8+, it'll take about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And in Chickapig, this is an abstract strategy game where you're going to be trying to get your Chickapigs from your side of the board through a goal on the other side of the board. But it's not going to be that easy because there's going to be hay bales that other people are going to be putting in your way. There's going to be cow poop. There's going to be cows blocking your way. There's going to be other people blocking your way. Lots of different things going on in this abstract strategy game, which interestingly enough was co-designed by Dave Matthews of Dave Matthews Band, who is, somebody I really, really like musically. So needless to say, hoping this is not a terrible game. But is it? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Chickapig. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule sheet. It's just this right here, double-sided in the back. It's just going to give you a big example of a turn and some 2-player rules, which I'll talk a little bit about later. So overall, the rule booklet is pretty well done. I wish there were some things that were maybe a bit more specific, like when I roll a cow, can I still move one space, even if I don't move the cow, and some other things like that. But overall, well done rule booklet that should have you up and running in no time at all. So in Chickapig, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking control of one of the 4 colors out. Red, blue, green, and yellow. And you're going to be racing to get all of your color through the goal that is on the other side of the board. Now, if you're playing a 2-player game, you're actually going to tilt the board like this, and you're either going to take green and yellow and blue and red, or blue and red, I should say, and try and get all of those through their corresponding goals. But it's not going to be that easy, though, because other people are going to be trying to block you. There's also going to be a cow that's going to be going around pooping all over the place, which is going to give you bad cards. But let's go ahead and take a look at the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So component-wise, you're going to have all the little pigs and everything in this game, aside from the timer and the die, is really nice, thick wood. Like, this is just beautifully engraved on there, not engraved, but laser printed on there. I think that's what it's called, wood burned or something like that. You're going to have a whole bunch of those. You're going to have these little hay bales right here as well, which will be set out, which once again are wood. You're going to have a cow fence, which will be out there at the beginning of the game, and a cow, which takes up 4 spots, but once the fence breaks, he's only going to take up 1 spot, which is another thing that I really wish would have been crystal clear with maybe a picture in the rules, but not a huge deal. You're also going to have cards over here. You're going to have cow cards, which are bad, and you are going to have flower cards, which are good. But let's show you how the game is played. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to roll this die right here. You're going to roll it to take your action. So I am green, and now I have 5 actions that I will be able to do. So there's a couple different things you can do with your actions. First and foremost, you can move any one of your green dudes that's on the board. Now, how you move something is you move it until it hits another object, be that a Chickapig or a cow or a hay bale. So I can move this green one, boom. That's 1 move right there. I might also move this hay bale, make a little extra hard for red to get in there. So that'd be 2 moves, 3 moves. Let's go 4 moves. And then, 5 moves. And that would be my whole turn right there. And now the next person would go. Let's just go ahead and do yellow's turn and walk you through a couple rounds so you can see how it works. And hopefully I'll get some 1s and 2s. We got a 6 right here, so you know what? We're actually going to cheat, and we're going to pretend that is a 2. So we rolled ourselves a 2. It's got the nice little flower symbol on there, which means you have a choice. You can either move 2 spaces, or you can take one of these cards right here. And these cards are always going to be delightfully good cards. So we'll just take a card so you can see what it's like. So move an opponent's piece of your choice, 1 legal move, Chickapig or hay bale. This move may happen at any point during your turn and does not count as one of your moves. So you can hold on to this, and you can utilize it later to really open things up potentially. After you roll a move, relocate a poop to any open square and roll again. Free flyover. You may fly over 1 Chickapig, hay bale, or cow, so you can kind of like jump over one of them. Double a roll of your choice, which, wow, that could be a 12. Avoid the consequences of a poop, or add 2 moves to any roll, the free flyover. So as you can see, they're very varied in what they will allow you to do. And you have to choose between either moving 2 spaces or taking the card, and 99% of the time you're going to take the card, because most of the cards, that one that doubles your roll. That's huge. So let's see what red's going to get right now. And oh no, red got a 1. Yeah, red got a 1, which now means the cow has broken out of the barn. So the fence, this cool little fence, it's gone. And now what you're going to do is you are going to not actually move any of your pieces, but you're going to move a cow anywhere you would like to move it. So I kind of want to move the cow right here. So the cow's going to go right into that spot, and the cow is also going to poop wherever they land. And there's these cool little poop tokens. You can see they got the little squiggle on there to represent the poop. And so now that poop is there. So what happens is this unlocks a new action for you to take. So let's say blue's going to move now, and blue gets a 4. We're going to cheat once again, and blue's going to get a 4, and blue is moving 1, 2, and now just for no particular reason at all, maybe they'll go 3, because now you have unlocked the ability to move the cow around at your will, one space at a time, kind of the same way you move a hay bale, and let's just say 4. So those were his 4 moves right there. Maybe he doesn't really know what he's doing, but hey, whatever. You cannot go through the cow. The cow also counts as something you will run into, much like the blue did right there. So now, let's pretend that we roll ourselves a 5, and green is going to go like 1, 2, 3, because they're foolish and they just landed on the poop. So what happens when you land on the poop is you take a card and you're going to read it at the end of your turn. These are always bad cards. So 3, 4, and 5. Now, why do they do that? Well, some of the moves are kind of illogical, like moving the cow that much. Didn't need to do it. I just wanted to do it. But now they've set themselves up to go 1, 2 next time and start scoring their green pieces. Same with this guy. He could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we got a 6 next time, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And boom, we'd have 2 pieces off the board. So he's kind of gambling for that. But let's take a look at what actually did happen. Take 1 Chickapig out of your pen and place it in one of your starting positions. Wow, so that's really rough. That means that if you had something that you had scored, then you would actually put it back on the board. And these are, some of them are really, really bad. Lose your next turn. Next player moves one of your pieces 1 legal move. Chickapig or hay bale. Next player moves one. Don't bother rolling. Your next 2 turns is 2 moves. If you have a daisy card, shuffle it back into your deck. So these are pretty rough. You do not want to go through the poop. But luckily, there's never really a scenario where you have to go through poop. It's just something you optionally choose to do in order to better yourself. But anywho, what you're trying to do is get all of your pieces through your goal. Be the first person to do that, then you will win the game. Now, I do want to answer the obvious question that might come up, which is why can't green just do that and say, ha ha ha, no one gets through red ever. Well, there's a rule that you absolutely positively cannot block someone in. You cannot block your goal where someone cannot get through, because that'd be dumb. Now, what you could do, though, is you could put this cow right here, and that would make it really difficult for someone to get through. They would have to move the cow 2 spaces before they did anything, but you cannot just completely block a goal like that. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to do inside of Chickapig. Alrighty then, Chickapig. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, 2 or 4 players, very restricted player count. Now, it does say that you can play as 4 teams, which would open up for more players, but it is the kind of team game where it's just, oh, we roll the 6, you take 3 actions, I take 3 actions, and that's pretty much it. Which is normally something that I hate in games when it's like that. But I will say, since this is aimed as a children/family weight game, it didn't bug me as much. So I think if you have like 5, 6, 7-year-olds who want to play, and you can play as a team with them and let them take a couple actions and you take a couple actions, that actually will work really well. But if you're looking at this as a team-based game with adults, where adults like, oh, Jan takes 2 actions and I take 1 action and Charlie takes 1 action. No, just absolutely not. No, it's a 2 or 4 player game if you're playing this as an adult game. Which also, oddly enough, it's kind of a con, is I'm not quite sure why there's not a 3-player version of the game. It seems like it would be really simple to make this a 3-player version of the game by either saying, A, just don't put on 1-color pieces, or B, and saying it's the more gamery version of it, saying that you have an additional action now that you can move. Say, for instance, if you have green, blue, and red in the game, you can now move yellow pieces with your actions to utilize them to set yourself up or block other people. It just feels like an obvious thing that should be in the game, but it's not in the game, and maybe they play tested it, didn't work or something like that. But yeah, 2 or 4 players, very restricted player count. This is also a very light, simple, abstract strategy game, which will be a turnoff to some people. The theme is there, but I mean, honestly, it's about animals escaping a farm or something like that. Doesn't really make much sense. Why are hay bales moving? Why is the cow moving? Whatever. Themeless. Now, let's get to the big cons that I think are going to turn off a lot of people. So first and foremost, it is a roll and move game. If you routinely are rolling 1s and cows, you are going to lose the game if someone else is routinely rolling 6s. Because yes, while they can put the cows in your way, and it will be annoying, and there'll be poop in the way, just having 3 moves versus 6 moves is a huge difference. You're taking 2 turns, I'm taking 1 turn. I mean, what else can I say right there? So it is roll and move, and it is you get as many actions as you can move, which will be a turnoff to a lot of people. Like, that is immediately going to squash a lot of people. That might be you, and if that's the case, then see yourself to the door. I completely understand why. Now, another big con that I have with this game is the cards. Now, I like the cards, and I like what the cards do, and I think they're very interesting, and there's a good deal of cards. You know, I wish there were more cards, but there's enough cards. There's a sufficient amount of cards, I should say. But these cards, wow, they are wildly swingy. Like, oh, if I drew this card, I lose my entire next turn, which, dear God, that is not fun. Stop putting in lose a turn mechanisms. Nobody likes to lose a turn. You know, punish me in a different way. But don't physically take away my turn where I'm just like, oh, I guess I can just, you know, go to the bathroom or make a sandwich or something like that. So, you know, if I drew this card, I lose a turn. If I drew this card, it doesn't impact me at all because I don't have a daisy card or because I don't have something out of my pen or something like that. So they're very swingy, and that's the same thing with the flower cards as well. Like, this card is like, oh, you can jump one of your pieces over a hay bale or a cow, which is really useful. And you're like, oh, that's great. And then somebody else will be like, oh, I rolled a 6, but now I'm going to play my daisy card, which means I double the die. So I now have 12 actions on my turn. And you're like, what? And they're just very imbalanced. Now, I will say, as a caveat, kids love imbalance in games. They really do. And this is one of the things that working with kids and playing tons and tons of games with kids, hundreds of games with kids over the last few years has taught me they love imbalance. They don't care. They like the wild. They like the swingy. They like to laugh at the person who gets 2 1s in a row while they get 2 6s in a row. And I understand it. You know, I was a kid once. Hard to believe, but I was a kid once. And I get that. But if you're looking at this as an adult, and from an adult perspective, you're looking at this as a kind of an abstract strategy game that you'll play with other adults, that is something that you're definitely going to need to take consideration. It is roll and move for actions, which is incredibly wild and random, and the cards are very imbalanced. And I think that's what I got on the con side. Moving on to the pro side, I don't like abstract strategy games, but I did like Chickapig. I thought it was good, and I think if you like abstract strategy games, especially family-weight abstract strategy games, this one could get bumped up into the great category if you can get past the player count. So what do I like about this game? So first and foremost, let's talk about the components. The components are really nice. They're wooden, and they look different. They look classic. This game looks like the kind of game that should be sitting at a Cracker Barrel where you sit outside, you know, and you're waiting for somebody to go to the bathroom and whatnot, and you're just playing a game on a barrel. This feels like the kind of game that should be on the barrel, both mechanically and also component-wise. Not saying there's a negative thing, just saying it feels like a classic style game, which is nice. I like the wooden pieces. I like the artwork. I do like the cards. I like what the cards do, even though I'd already told you they're wild, they're swingy, and they're imbalanced. I do like them, and I think they're an interesting aspect to the game. I mean, this could have just been a very straightforward abstract strategy game where you're just moving pieces, but I think the addition of the cards makes the game better, even though it is really annoying when you roll a 1 or 2 and you don't get to move anything at all. But I especially like the 2 because it kind of sets you up better for the next turn. So I didn't mind that so much. I like the fact that it comes with a sand timer if someone is taking too long. We never utilized it, but I like the fact that it understands that there are people who have too long a turn, so you can use the sand timer. I think that's a nice addition to the game. Continuing onward, it's easy to learn and easy to teach. The rule booklet, I wish there were a couple, like 1 or 2 things that were a bit clearer, but when it comes to actually teaching the game, it's super simple because, you know, when you're first starting up the game, it's like, all right, you're going to roll the die. And if 1 or 2 happens, you know, something crazy happens, which we'll deal with when we get to. But 3, 4, 5, 6, you can move hay bales, your color, 1 space, and that's one of your actions. or you can move your color of Chickapigs until they run into another Chickapig or a hay bale or the cow's fence or something like that. And that's what you're going to do. You're just going to be moving those. And then eventually someone will roll a 1, and you're like, all right, now that a 1 has been rolled, the cow is loose, and you have an additional third action you can do, which is to move the cow, much like you move the hay bales. That's it. There's really only 3 actions you're going to be taking in the game. Now the cards and the flowers kind of add a little extra element to the game, but the kids like that extra element. And I did play this with a bunch of 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, and 11-year-olds. They really enjoyed the game, and that's really the biggest selling point for this game. I think it's a good game. If I didn't work with kids, I would not keep it. I wouldn't. Because here's the thing. I don't think I can play it with my son quite yet. He's 5. And while I could play it with him, it would be the kind of thing where I would have to take it easy on him to give him a chance to win. And that's another con. This is one of those games where if you're playing with someone who's younger, you are most of the time going to have to take it easy on them for them to have any shot at winning, which is always a con. But the kids in my class liked this game an awful lot, to the point of loving this game. And this game, I'm going to get to this last point last. So the kids liked the game a lot. It was very easy to learn, very easy to teach. They loved the pieces. They loved the components. They loved playing with the Chickapig once they'd scored and once they're on the board. They liked how it's just like, woo! They made little fun noises when the Chickapigs were going long just to go, woo! Then they hit something, they go like, ah! And they like making the noises for the Chickapigs. And that's good. This is aimed, I think, at a family weight crowd. I mean, look at this box. Clearly aiming for families. It's fine. They hit the head on the nail there. I think they succeeded at that. But what I really liked about this game was not the fact that the kids really enjoyed the game, but that it was simple enough that kids that normally have a lot of issues with strategy games that I bring in were wrapping their head around the game and making smarter choices. So I have one kid in particular comes to my mind. Great kid, loves playing games. He tries to play games that go way over his head, but he loves playing games. He loves sitting down and playing games with me and playing games with the other kid. He's a good kid. He's terrible, god-awful at games. He routinely makes just absolutely atrocious choices that I notice, but not only that I notice, that other kids his age notice, and they're like, Jonah, you could have just done that in 2 moves instead of the 6 moves. And he'd be like, oh, I didn't notice that. And like other kids his age are noticing how bad his moves are, but he wrapped his brain around this, and he did really stinking good with the game. And I like that. That really is an extra selling point to me, because I've probably played 50 to 100 games with this kid, and he's just consistently terrible. But for some reason, he was able to wrap his brain around this game, possibly because of how simple the game was, and he actually did pretty well, which was a cool little story there. Does it impact my review of the game? Maybe ever so slightly, because it was nice to see him, kind of get a win under his belt, even though he didn't win, but he did better than some of the other kids we were playing with. But anywho, personal story aside, I think Chickapig is a good family game. And I think if you like abstract strategy games and your family likes abstract strategy games, and you're going to be playing this at 4 players pretty routinely with your family, I think this could potentially bump up to a great family game, but I'm not willing to go that far because that's not me. So, Chickapig, a farm-to-table game. I think it's a good abstract strategy game, lighter abstract strategy game. I don't think this is going to be a game night game. Maybe a couples game if you're on the lighter side of things, or a get-together game, or a gateway-style game. Yeah, maybe. But primarily a family weight abstract strategy game that I can recommend if you're in the market for one. So that is Chickapig. If you enjoyed this review, please try to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Dave Matthews, what's your thought on him? For me personally, my best concert that I've ever been to in my entire life was Dave Matthews. So I grew up and I really loved Dave Matthews. I enjoyed the music. But I got to go 1 year on the Bud Light Port Paradise cruise, which was this amazing weekend of just drinking beer, debauchery, hot tubs, cruise stuff. But the creme de la creme, to cap it all off, the final real day of the cruise, we were on a private island that was owned by Busch, Anheuser-Busch, the people that do Bud Light. And Dave Matthews played a set, and it was amazing. I mean, there was no thrills. It was just him on a stage, literally, and there was nothing in the back. So all you could see behind him was just ocean for miles and miles. And it was just, I still remember one of the most peaceful, tranquil moments of my life was sitting on this raft. I was laying on this raft, and I had 2 beers, and I had tried to like swim while still having 2 beers in my hand. So I was sticking my thumbs in the beers, you know, which they were shooken up like crazy. But I was laying on this raft, and I was just listening to Dave Matthews, drinking beer. The sun was beating down on me, and it was a moment that I will never forget for the rest of my life. No matter how bad my memory gets, no matter how old I get, I will always remember that moment. And it was, yeah. So I have Dave Matthews, for me personally, very strong memories. But let me know in the comments below. Memories of Dave Matthews. Do you like Dave Matthews? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.